Good day to you all. My name is Terence Baker, news editor at CoStar News Hotels, part of STR and CoStar. And this is The Upgrade, CoStar News Hotels Europe, Middle East, and Africa podcast. We're thrilled to be back with you once again, once a month here. And I'm very thrilled also to announce that our special guest today is Oliver Winter. He's the president and CEO of A&O Hotels and Hostels in Germany. We're going to chat to him all about their company, some of their growth prospects, and perhaps some comments about green financing and the future of sustainability. So thank you so much, Oliver. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here, Terence. It's a
It's, it's
pleasure.
our it's our pleasure. Now, A&O Hostels, it started, not unlike a few other German companies, I imagine, with this need in Germany for everyone to visit, or for students to visit Berlin and once in their school life, and also the nature of German travel. It seemed to work very well for that hostel idea. You have 40 assets now in 27 cities in 11 European countries, I think, and around 30,000 rooms. You also just recently acquired a property in London. Tell me about that.
That's true. Yeah, it's 30,000 beds, not 30,000 rooms.
That would be a
So
lot, wouldn't it? 30,000
yeah,
beds, of course.
yeah,
Apologize.
yeah, but close to 8,000, 9,000 keys. Yeah, and our recent acquisition was in London Docklands, DoubleTree by Hilton Docklands, and yeah, so we are very proud after 25 years now to coming to London with A&O.
That had to involve some form of conversion. I mean, you're talking X 300 rooms, or I don't know how many it had to now that you're probably putting in more rooms, or how are you going to convert that to your kind of brand standards, to your feel, to what you want as a hotel?
Yeah, so this is an existing hotel with near 600 keys. So it's a very big one, very huge. Three different buildings, yeah, or guest room buildings, and then a connector building with a lobby and reception area, etc. What we think considering right now is to convert this this great hotel with all the buildings into something very new for A&O, very exciting. We like to implement a second brand as well into this asset, and to bring to implement A&O in two of these existing buildings, and a new upscale A&O brand. It's even A&O, but it's a kind of a luxury or premium hostel brand in the third building. Yeah.
That's
So
really interesting. So we may have a bit of an exclusive here. You're actually thinking about a new brand for A&O. What would that be
yes,
called? A&O Plus? Have you got any names for it?
yeah, it's an early stage, and internal name is A&O Plus. That's right. Yeah. So
I'm a
that's
genius.
you
Or I've been
can.
working too long in this industry.
Yeah, yeah. So no, you can see in our minds. Yeah. Yeah, so A&O Plus is a working name. Whatever it's named, then finally, I don't know yet, but um, it's the idea is that we share with both brands. We share the same common areas, the same amenities, but then that you decide for the good quality basic product, what's named A&O and what you know as an A&O customer, or in bit, yeah, more shiny, bit more luxury, but still budget product, as a plus the product or plus hotel product. Yeah.
And I assume London's the ideal place to introduce a brand like this, or a neighbouring brand, a sister brand, because obviously you can scale up the number of beds quite quickly in London. It remains one of the world's most popular destinations, and surprisingly, you perhaps haven't been there before. I mean, what was some of the barriers to entry? It's expensive, I imagine. Finding a right site's difficult. What were some of the barriers to getting into London?
Um, the biggest barrier to get into London is price of the
Always.
of the real estate. It's a really expensive market, and as you could imagine, since we growing out of Berlin, so that means since 2004-5, our desire is even to come to London, because inside Europe it's a place yeah, from European tourist rankings. I think it's by far it's number one destination. Yeah,
I
so
imagine.
so London is place to be. Um, and so it's always like a little bit of lack of momentum. Yeah, so there was this opportunity now to acquire that has maybe even a little bit to do with the real estate crisis we are still in. Yeah, so that we can could afford for this building. That's even momentum and luck that we are backed by two shareholders with a great appetite to invest into the A&O story and to help us to really fill this big check we needed for London. Yeah, to acquire this asset. And so yeah, it's momentum and yeah, then it's really big. In the end, we're speaking about a little bit more than 2,000 beds in total. What we bring in to this three buildings, and
Yes.
that's why also we consider that we're doing kind of hybrid since many years to to do something more with these three different buildings, and then saying that could be the right place to start with a second.
I think that's very true. I mean, that area, Docklands and Canary Wharf, is transforming dramatically. It's not just customers going to Excel, which I imagine most of your guests are not. Canary Wharf is becoming a destination in its own right. I was there recently running a 5K as a guest of Canary Wharf, and it's absolutely buzzing. They've got hotels from sort of lifestyle hotels from a few other companies in Europe coming there. They got attractions. They've got kind of got a Game of Thrones type attraction. I forget exactly what that is. It's really, really growing. But you grew initially from a liquor store. I'm interested in that story. Tell us some of the origins of A&O.
Yeah, that's that's true. I traveled around the world for a while, for a bit more than 6 months before to study. And so before my university started, I had the chance to see different countries. And during this time, I came in contact with this hostel idea. Yeah, and we speak about 96, 97. Back to Berlin, I started my studies, and in parallel, I started work in a liquor store and to yeah, to earn some money and do something where I had even a little bit experience in, because I jobbed in liquor stores in a smaller chain here in Berlin um, uh, during school time already, etc., and on the weekends and so on. And yeah, back back from my travel, I had the hostel idea in my mind, and I started then whenever there was time and I had no liquor store, I moved up basement where I had an office and worked on this hostel idea, and that's how it started, so to say.
So around 30 years in the making, and you've got to 30,000 beds, as you say. What is your growth pipeline looking like in terms of, because I know that recently, or correct me if I'm wrong, but you added hotels to a hostel's name. So obviously you're thinking about obviously growing into a larger, across some segmentation, hospitality accommodations provider. Tell me a bit about what that thinking was and also where you think you're going in terms of your pipeline and growth.
We're doing more than just running hostels, operating hostels, because we are more like a hybrid. We have both under one. We're combining both under one roof. That's this hybrid or that's budget hotels and hostels. So what is hostel from our point of view is really that you can buy or book one individual bed in a multi-bed. Yeah, so you can pay for one bed and share this bed, share not sorry, not the bed, share the room with other guests, and that's how you can really reduce your bill. Yeah, keep your bill small, and stay maybe for 30 euros or 20 euros or whatever. And so with this four-bedded, six-bedded, eight-bedded dormitories, how we call this, this is really what hostel is standing for. And then, of course, you have some other services, like, for example, you find in every of our place, you find a guest laundry where you can wash your belongings. You find a guest kitchen if you like to cook with you or with other guests as well. So to share stuff like this. And over time, we also added more and more single and bedded rooms to our inventory as well. And so today, 50% more or less of our inventory is twin beds and single bedrooms, and the other 50% is in four-bedded or six-bedded bed. And this means that we are kind of hybrid and have both worlds, this budget hotel world and the hostel world on the same roof.
So is this for both probably the maturity of your company and also the maturity of guest demand, what they're looking for across Europe? Would you say that was true?
Yes, that's true. That's an development or evolvement of us, of the guests, and even that we can play, so to say, or go with a season, even during a week, midweek, for example, we are much more hostel. We have much more hostel guests in our houses because we have a lot of school groups, for example, midweek, and on the weekends it shifts, and the majority of our guests are individual travelers and more older travelers, seeing us more as a hotel.
So you moved into London. Where else do you have your sights on? I mean, probably United States. United States, I believe, has some, New York City perhaps has some arcane, that's the right word, regulations about hostels, don't they? You're not allowed to have them in New York as far as planning permission is concerned, so I believe. So, but where else are you thinking? Are you going to be pan-European? Is that still the idea initially?
Yeah, you are right. So Europe is our playground for now. So we are in 10 countries so far. Um, we identified around about 50 cities in Europe still where we can grow. So even secondary cities, like for example in Manchester, if we stick to UK, for example, are cities we like to grow as well. And of course all the capitals in Europe, there are many we are not in yet, like in Madrid, Rome, Paris, Dublin, etc. That's all destinations we like to grow in. So yeah, really cover our footprint all over in prime cities and secondary cities. That's, I would say, enough to do for the next 5 years. We think in the next, yeah, 3 to 5 years, we really will grow by um, another 15,000, 20,000 beds. Yeah, what is massive.
Obviously, the London hotel, going back to that yet again, has a slightly higher bed count. Are you generally, when you're moving around mainland Europe, are you sticking at a certain amount, a certain bed count, or are you able to adapt to that? I mean, I think some of the Italian cities would love an A&O, and some of those cities, Lecce, Bologna, I mean, they're world-class cities, even though they're probably regarded as secondary, even tertiary cities. I mean, they're world-class in terms of what they offer adventurous travelers.
What I would say that's 600 to 800 beds. That's a perfect size, and this allows us really to go to the secondary cities like in Bologna, for example, or even in Austria, in Salzburg or Innsbruck or whatever. So um, this is so we need a minimum size, so with our structure, etc. So 500, 600 beds. That's ideal. Brave enough to do bigger when we can. So even like London, for example, 2,000 beds. It's even something we know we can do this. We have another 2,000 beds hostel in Hamburg since many years, very successful in operation. So we can do everything between this. We are willing to do and we can do. Yeah.
And the demand you don't see being dampened anytime soon. There's still a robust demand for your type of hotel product.
Um, Definitely yes. So I would say we have to distinguish between the group segment and this individual traveler segment. There's this FIT segment. The group segment is super clear. In the FIT, like everyone in 2005, now we saw a little bit sideward. So or not no at least no growing in rate. Occupancy is still very positive development, but rate is let's see. Or let's say it like this, I would say we even see that people have less money in their pockets, have to think about to stay maybe a little bit shorter, or even to take a category more down to save money. Um, but in general, saying, yeah, it's really robust, and we see a great demand for us.
And you have very limited F&B, don't you? And a few burgers and bars and that. So you're not being crushed by food inflation, which, in my opinion, is the operating cost of it is only going to get worse in the next year or so.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, luckily wise, 85% of our revenues come from accommodation revenue, and 15% is yeah, maybe 10% is food, and then the rest is stuff like parking, etc. But food is we have to deliver food service for our group guests, yeah, because as a school group, you of course, if you check in for 4 days or 4 nights, and an A&O, like to have breakfast every morning, you like to have a dinner opportunity as well. That we serve, so we serving groups, but it's not our key focus to make high F&B revenues.
So numbers are good at the moment at A&O. What's your last quarterly earnings? Looking healthy?
Absolutely. So this we say in German, we say "toi toi toi." So yeah, despite from this pandemic time, we never had any asset not earning money, and we never had any months not earning money. So that's really something we can say really loud and proud. So yeah, toi toi toi. So yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, or so that's uh, yeah, kind like
Okay.
yeah.
I've learned something. And the German market, how is that? I mean, it's I don't suppose guess mine. Politically, it's gone through a few ups and downs in the last couple of years, but the German market's still healthy.
It is. What we see that since 19, we have a lot more of supply, and maybe supply grow a little bit quicker than in general the demand. Um, our German airports are quite weak, yeah, if we compare to other airports and number of guests, what we see, so that Italy or Spain or so airports are performing much better compared with pre-pandemic or yeah, pre-pandemic numbers. So, for example, the Berlin airport is still below 19 numbers. Yeah, so that's not helping, and that's maybe kind of a little bit of headwind for all of us. But yeah, we still like Germany as a market. We, for example, just acquired another development in Germany beginning of this year in Heidelberg. So we doing even one more operation in Berlin. What we are just converting right now. So we will open this in 18 months from now. So so we still love Germany, and think this, or hopefully that even the airports will recover. Mm.
Heidelberg's considered a secondary or tertiary city in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's it considered? A secondary city?
Yeah, secondary
Yeah,
city.
okay, okay. So there's other cities in Germany that maybe Lübeck or Stuttgart or where you aren't in, but you consider?
Yeah, I would definitely go with the brand to Freiburg as a secondary, and Münster. Something I could imagine that it could work. Um, yeah,
I mean,
this
these are
is
places probably more known to Germans, well, obviously known to Germans, but more known domestically than internationally. So, but
that's
then,
true.
hey, you open a hotel somewhere and it catches the attention of another country, then they'll start going, won't they?
Mm.
Tell me something about the sustainability in your hotels and in Germany in general. I mean, it's taken a bit of a knock in the last year due to politics in other countries around the world and perhaps businesses deciding because of that political lead, they don't need to be as sustainable and green as they perhaps once were, either lip service or actually were. But there's a lot of financing still wrapped around it in Germany, loans and debt, hotel companies needing to make sure they not only say they're going to do things but tick those boxes. What can you tell me about sustainability at A&O and in Germany in general?
Yeah. Yeah, we Germans, or yeah, in Germany, it's a big topic since many years, yeah, and so even personal, I like to, yeah, or yeah, let's say I like this topic, or I have a passion into this topic, yeah, even since I was when I was 17 or 18, I already planted trees around Berlin. Yeah, so I hope so. We should check this out. Yeah. So that's really something what a story we like. In 2015, so really early stage, we started as one of the first companies in hospitality to think deeper about our footprint and to first about really to learn and understand what does it mean, footprint in hospitality, what is it, how what the footprint per overnight looks like at A&O specific, etc. And so we started to learn, we started to ask ourselves questions, and then we figured out in 15 first time the footprint at A&O, what was around 16 kilogram per overnight. And to give you an comparable, because nobody knows 16 is as high, is as low. So the average of a German household for a single person is 25 kilogram per overnight. So it was already in 15. It was better to stay at A&O than at home. Yeah. And this 16 kilogram, we said, or we understood very quickly that seems like it's a treasure we are sitting on, because that was more thanks to the efficiency of this hostel concept at all, that this was so low, compared even to 4-star, 5-star operations. Have 5-star operation has in a 3-digit number like 120 kilogram per overnight, because we have the spa and all this stuff, and we have. So if you stay in an A&O or generally in a hostel, you share your room with others. That means you need very less space. You have nothing else, and so there's no coffee machine in the room, there's no fridge in the room. Yeah, so that's all very basic, and that brings, in general, so to say, this footprint or the greenhouse gas emissions very 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 low. And so we understood, okay, that's something concept wise we have a big advantage. Why we are not bringing this, sharpen this and bring this even more down and lower this footprint and speak more about this story and understand this story better. And then we started this journey, and that was 15. And since 15, we really, since every year we measure our footprint, we certify, we look deeper. We have a lot of we collected more than 150 ideas from our workforce, how to optimize footprint, what we could skip or what we could buy more local or replace or whatever. And today our footprint is lower than 4 kilogram. It's 3.6, 3.7 kilogram per overnight. What is 80% reduction from where we are coming from. Yeah, a great success story. What we see as well is since a year, it's not the number one topic anymore. Yeah, so that's something what is going a bit more in the background, but still we did not stop any effort. So we are still on this journey to say, well, whatever we can do, we like to do to bring it more down, even lower this 3.8 kilogram to a lower number when wherever it's possible and feasible. It helps us for many different reasons as well, but maybe this general awareness is changed a little bit since a year. Yeah.
It's a wonder it's not spoken of more, because I would assume, and I'm not a financier, but that carbon reduction begins when you and your partners first start looking at debt, doesn't it? When you start looking at the financing behind hotels, that's where it starts. People
That's
understand dollars and cents, they don't understand anything else. So why do you think that isn't done to the levels you're doing it? I mean, because it has to start with a finance. That's probably essentially the same for everyone.
Yeah, and I think it's doing so. We know that as greener you are, as better your in general your ESG performances, yeah, and your rating or ranking, as cheaper are your loans, yeah, and or easier access is to finance. And so and this is did not change. So it's still that, for example, we deliver all our ESG reports to our banks, and that's definitely helping on the finance side. And even where it also helps is on the staff side as well. Yeah, so
Indeed.
that's another big point. Despite from your consumers or customers, there are maybe 10-15% of customers that are really aware of it, and the other 85 say, I don't take care. Yeah, so that's fine, but even it's not hurting them. But for 10-15% of the consumers, it's a big plus. It's an advantage, and for staff to staff retention and even staff to awareness, etc. It's really helpful as well.
And I definitely like your new slogan that it's better to stay at an A&O than to stay at home. And you should really expand that to say it's definitely better to stay in A&O
Mm.
plus than it is to stay at home. I think you should start marketing that. And lastly, very much lastly, a question I always like to ask, where are you traveling to next?
I'm traveling the coming weekend to Vienna.
Vienna. That's not so
Yeah,
far. By train?
by plane
Okay.
to be honest, and it's only for the weekend because it's I'm invited on to 50th birthday. And then my really next holiday travel, that's probably then after Christmas, so in the new year, for probably again to Austria for skiing.
You love
This
Austria, obviously. I'm gonna be in a pretty similar place in a couple of weeks at a conference on luxury hotels and upscale hotels lifestyle called Inspire, which is gonna be in Prague, Czech Republic, a place I haven't been to for about a decade. Oliver,
Mhm.
thank you so much for chatting with us. It's been fascinating. I wish you and A&O all the very best, and hope to see you very soon in a conference or in a hotel in Europe. Thanks for your time again, and thank you, audience. It's always wonderful to have our listeners coming in, emailing me with comments as you do. Thank you for your attention and presence. I very much appreciate it. This is Terence Baker signing off from the Upgrade CoStar News Hotels Europe, Middle East and Africa podcast. We'll see you next time.
Hello, I'm Luke Haynes, People Newsletter Editor CoStar News, and the host of Top Credentials, a monthly podcast exploring the colourful careers of those working at the top of UK commercial real estate. In the episodes, we discover the valuable lessons influencing the daily decision-making of property sector leaders, and hear about the aspects of their job that make it a little easier to get out of bed each morning. We'll also ask for their views on the latest news and policies shaping our constantly evolving industry, and even get them to share a famous quote or song title they think defines their career or the profession. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode of The Upgrade was recorded on October 30th, 2025, and edited by Sean McCracken. Visit CoStar.com/hotel news for the latest information on the global hotel industry, and search for all the CoStar News Hotels podcasts on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen.